Governor Sherrill has said that protecting kids online is one of her key priorities. Well, one Democratic Assemblywoman, Andrea Katz, has the same goal. Katz has a package of 3 bills targeting social media companies and the way they interact with kids. She's here with us now to talk about the bills, as well as some other legislation she sponsored as part of our Under the Dome series. Assemblywoman, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. We want to talk about this package of bills, but I want to start with the first one, the New Jersey Kids Code Act. What does it do?
It's going to help protect our kids online. We know that social media can give a lot of benefits to our kids, to our communities in general. But social media companies are making a lot of money off of our kids, much to the detriment of our kids. Our kids are complaining or are telling us that their mental health isn't okay right now, and it's up to us to listen. And this bill starts doing that.
So one of the ways I know it does that, you say it'll strengthen privacy safeguards, and one of those things is really these default protections for minors. What does that mean?
So the highest security standards are going to be applied to known minors. So let's just talk about what a known minor is. These social media companies know how old these kids are when they create their accounts. Even if the kids say, hey, I'm older than you think I am, through all the data that these companies collect, they know how old these kids are when they are creating their accounts. So when we have a known minor on a social media platform, their account is going to be automatically defaulted to the highest security levels. And it's not going to be just as easy as flipping one little switch and turning that off. It's going to be a lot more complex if that's what somebody tries to do. But every minor on social media, every known minor, is going to be held to the highest security standards.
I mean, listen, I'm the mom of a 10 and a 12-year-old, and they're savvy. They know how to get around certain safeguards, right? They can put in a different birth date. But you're saying, given the data that these companies are already collecting, they should be able to deduce who is kind of faking it and who's not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They know all of this data that they collect on you and me and our kids. They know how old our kids are when they create those accounts.
And so you want to see the highest limits in terms of what content these kids are able to access. And on top of that, your bill looks to publish an independent audit detailing its design features. This is something we've heard a lot about in terms of algorithms. Can you explain what you're looking for in those audits?
We want to make sure that our kids are not having to scroll endlessly all night long, that they're not being delivered content that is inappropriate for them. We need these companies to do what they can do. We know that they can do this. We know that they have the tools necessary to protect our kids, and we need to make sure that they're doing that.
What companies would this apply to?
The larger social media companies that we all know and use every single day. Social media companies like Facebook, Instagram, this is all going to pertain to them.
I have to tell you, my kids are not allowed to have social media. They say I'm the worst mom in the world. But they can access so much of that content through YouTube. And YouTube is a site that teachers use, and it's very hard to limit access to that site. Would you include YouTube in this?
We would consider it depending on a couple factors, yeah. So absolutely. We need to look at everybody and where this content is coming from.
You have another bill that would require black box warnings. What would that look like? How would those appear? What would they do?
Well, again, we know what social media is doing. You as a mom know, I know as a mom, but sometimes we need to be reminded. And so those black box warnings are going to remind us, share with us that this is harmful to your mental health. It's a reminder of the things we already know as we're scrolling through all of that content. Sometimes everybody needs that little reminder.
You had a bill in the last legislative session that would prohibit social media platforms from promoting or pushing content to kids dealing with eating disorders. That bill made it pretty far, but it ended up being pocket vetoed by Governor Murphy, meaning he took no action, and so the bill died at the end of the session. Why, first of all, do you believe the governor didn't sign that?
I don't know. And I asked him, and he didn't really give me a very clear answer. So I'm not sure why he didn't sign it, but I did have that conversation with him. And I let him know my frustrations.
Obviously, Governor Sherrill has said during the campaign and at the start of her term now as governor that she was going to make protecting kids online a major priority. Have you worked with her? Have you talked to her administration about these bills and about that eating disorder bill that didn't pass? Excuse me, that didn't get signed?
Absolutely. I actually just talked to her today. This is something that's important to her. I'm talking with her team later. We're going to work out the details, and I'm hoping that we get this to her desk very quickly.
Have you talked to folks on the other side of the aisle? Is there bipartisan support for this type of legislation, or are you getting any pushback anywhere?
Well, I don't think the social media companies are terribly excited, but that's okay. I'm here to protect the kids, and that's my job, right? So that's okay. They can be upset about it all that they want to be. It doesn't change the fact that we still need to do this. I hope that there is bipartisan support. Protecting our kids is not a partisan issue. Making sure our kids are safe is not a partisan issue. So I do hope that there will be support across the aisle.
And then just finally, given all that you've learned about social media, what is your message to parents who many want to protect their kids, many are still unaware of the harms that exist out there in the world?
It's when your kids access social media and they find their ways around it, it doesn't make you a bad mom by letting your kids have access to this. It's up to us as government, as these companies. It's up to these companies to make sure that they are being good citizens, good good citizens to our kids, making sure that our data is safe. So we're here to be helpful. We know that our kids are struggling, that sleep deprivation is considered torture. Suicide is the top three causes of death in our adolescents. Their mental health is struggling, and we're here to help. We're here to take steps to make sure that kids are okay. And we're just here to help our kids.
All right, we got to leave it there. But thank you so much, Assemblywoman Andrea Katz in the 8th District. Appreciate you talking to us today.
Thank you so much.
Under the Dome is made possible in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.